Hey, we're live. Hey, hello, everybody. Let's see how many people we've got in the room ready to go. All right, there's a bunch of you already. I love it. I'm a big fan of being on time. I know I've talked about that a bunch, but I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm glad that you're on time. Do me a favor, please, and just say hi or something. Or I want to make sure you guys can hear me before I start talking forever to myself and you can't even hear me. So just say, yes, I can hear you or something like that. Give me a shout. Where are you guys at? What you doing on this lovely Saturday afternoon? Hi. Dude, I don't know what that name is. It looks like it's Russian. I wouldn't even know how to say that. I'll try. N-er. Yay. All right. Well, welcome to the Mortar household. This is the second Saturday in a row that we've got together to do this. And I kind of like it. I think I'm just going to make it a thing where once a week we can do that, where we can get together. And I want to make it very beneficial for all of you guys to be here live. Hey, Ira. Hey, Pat. Bulgarian. I'm going to figure out how to say that in between now and the next time that we hang out. But what I was saying is I really enjoy this. So, last Saturday I did one, and I got a good response from people on that. They wanted to know more about the woman that I introduced you guys to, Cindy. So I did a webinar specifically with her. If you guys missed that, you can. It's on my website. So if you can't find or something, you shoot me an email if you're interested. It was pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to doing more things like that, where we can, learn and hang out and we can talk, because I think really where this needs to go is not like me just talking a bunch, because I can talk a lot, dude. Seriously. I've been doing classes for years now, but I think that there's a relationship here, and in the way that any relationship works, give and take, ebb and flow, all that kind of stuff. It's important that I get to know you guys a little bit more, and gals, because I don't really know you. So I want to encourage you to, plug in a little bit more and to play a little bit more if you want to, if you choose to, if you feel comfortable with that. Because it'll give me an opportunity not only to learn a little bit more about, what you're interested in, so we can go that direction. Because I'm not really sure what direction to go. I just know a bunch of stuff. And I'm sure that you know a bunch of stuff too. And I think that if we kind of, do the dance together, that we can go in a direction that we all want to go, that will benefit all of us, help us all grow, and get closer to that sort of etherical finish line that doesn't really exist. Give us some theory. After that, we can discuss. Okay, so here's how today is going to work. So I'm doing something new with you guys today. So I hope that you're ready to play, and maybe it'll go really smoothly, and I think it will. It's the technical part of it isn't too difficult, but we're going to play. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk. So I want to invite you guys to come on and talk. The rules are, not like my rules, but I can only have, I think, 8 or 9 people come on at a time. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm going to keep talking. Screen share. Just so I can show you this picture here. And if you guys want to talk, there's a button at the top of the chat box where you can request to speak. You click the button, and it's like you raise your hand. So I'll see that, and I will invite you to come on. After you're invited to come on, you have to give permissions to my webinar software, which is called Webinar Jam Studio. And it's like an overlay on top of Google Hangouts. You don't have to know what to do really, but you have to accept that. So I don't want you to freak out if when this picture right here pops up. You'll have to click accept before you can get on. It will, it's going to grab your microphone on your computer, and it's going to grab your camera too, so that when you talk, we all get to see you and we all get to talk to you. And I think that's pretty cool. If that totally freaks you out, which it does, I'm sure, to a bunch of people, you don't have to. You don't have to talk. You can just sit back in your chair or on your phone or whatever you're doing. You can chill. You just hang out. It's totally It's totally cool and fine. But if you want to get on, you'll have to, plug in, and you're going to have to put yourself out there a little bit. And I'm really excited to hear from you guys. I think that's really all I'm trying to say. That I've done things in the past where, like, I'm the center of it all, and I'm looking forward to doing it a little differently and building a community and a tribe of people, so that not only do I get to know you, but you get to know each other, and you develop relationships with each other. I mean, last weekend it was Holland, Belgium, Jamaica, Australia, somewhere, Palestine. So that's what I'm going for. Like, let's sorry, I jumped over to a screen there. When you come on, you can again see the screen, accept the thing, click accept, comes here, you say yeah, I got it, click okay, got it. And then if you don't want people to see you, you just click this little thing that says hide from broadcast. Actually, what I'm showing you is an admin thing, but you're always able to hide yourself or your camera. And shoot, if you don't want people to look at you, then put a piece of tape over it or something. I don't care. Okay, stop sharing the screen for that crazy. See that cascading black hole that happens when I share the screen there? Okay. Oh, Leah says, please teach us, you be the center. Which is cool. Here's how this is going to go. A couple things are going to happen. Either, because I'm prepared to go. I'll go for an hour and a half. I've got some cool things put together too to break it up so that you're not staring at me in front of my computer. But there are 3 sections, and the title of it was Heart vs. Head. It was, oh great, now I'm going to draw a blank. Heart vs. Head. It was Energy Man, and then it was Hypnotic Rhythm. So what I'd like to do is, like, where are you from? Bulgarian. I'm just going to call you Bulgaria because I can't say that. I'll give you some theory. I'll talk for a little bit. So there are 3 sections. So I'll talk on one of them for a bit, and then we'll open it up, right? If at any point you're itching and you're like, oh, I gotta, you just click the button that says request to speak. You just raise your hand. And when you do that, I will see it, and I'll bring you on. I think I can bring like 9 of you guys on at the same time. Like, that's the maximum. And right now we're at 24 people, so I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. If some of you don't speak and not everyone's on here, it might be crazy if we're all on here. I don't know. We're playing. We're doing something new. It's an experiment. So I'm like really excited about that. Like, you can't plan for this stuff. And there's this like present time consciousness. There's like this in the moment. It's like the adrenaline, like if you've ever been on stage or like in theater or, a musician or something, when you perform, there's this moment before you go on where you get the butterflies in your stomach and you just go, it's intense. And it's so powerful. I think it freaks people out because they're not used to it. They're not used to that level of the power that's in that. So we'll jump right in. After my one caveat, my disclaimer, okay? Excuse me. I have been awake since 3:30 this morning in my time. So I've been awake for 12 hours already. But I'm pretty, high energy anyway. So I might pull on you guys a little bit, like helping me out here. I'm getting tired, like a Superman. Okay, so I'm out of breath or something. I'm just wound up. Let's begin. We're going to talk first on the topic of heart versus head. And in this idea, it's about this thing here, your heart. And it's about this thing up here, your head. And they're different. And we interact with them differently. We relate to them differently. And we use them differently. They serve us in different ways, right? Yeah. So it's about understanding those different ways so that you can utilize the tools that you have. Like imagine a carpenter with a tool belt. Sometimes, you run into a nail and you need a certain tool called a hammer so that you can put the nail in. Sometimes it's a screw, and if you try and hammer that thing, then it like breaks and shoots off or strips out, or it doesn't work. So you need tools in your tool belt, and you need to understand that your mind is a tool, and so is your connection with the heart, or even I might say that your connection with something even greater. Like the heart is, I'll just spill the beans, it's going to represent something much greater, and our connection with spirit and the universe and the infinite stores of everything that ever has been or is now or can be, that sort of thing that we touch sometimes, that like ever expanding awareness and consciousness and love, and I call it God, but you can call it whatever you want, nature, universe, or dude. I call it dude sometimes. I'm like, dude, what's up? What's going on, dude? So in this introduction to this idea of your heart versus your head, I want you to understand first and foremost, that you are born in the vibration of heart and of love. You are love. Like God is love. That's just it. There is nothing else. Those that do not know love, they do not know God, because God is love. And I'm just quoting scripture there. Not like I'm a scripture junkie or affiliated with any, religious dogma, because I'm not really much of a fan of them, but I have a lot of respect for all of them, because they're just different ways for people to achieve their truth, or their, whatever, their pinnacle, their nirvana. I know I said that wrong. I'm going to say a bunch of things wrong on purpose just to see if you guys catch it. It's fun. It's like a game. Here we go. But I'm all over the place already. Kind of wound up today, but we're talking about this idea that you come from love. You are vibrationally when you were born, like the essence of that, it's love. And I want you guys, just humor me for a second. Do this. Look around the room you're in, or maybe if you're in a car, don't look around, but take your hand and I want you to point to the floor. Just do it. Point to the floor. And then point to the wall that's to the right of you. And point to the screen that you're looking at. And then point at the sky or the ceiling. And now point at yourself. Where are you pointing? See, there's really two things that people do. And 99.9% of the time, they do this. They go, point at yourself. And where do we point? Right at the heart. We point to ourselves because this is us. And this is the nature of us. Okay? I've never run into anyone, with the exception of one time I did a class, and this happened. It's on recording, so I can't lie about it or anything, because there's proof there. They did this, and they pointed at their head. People don't do that. People don't identify with themselves being here. People are here. We are this. We are this vibration. We are born here. We are the essence of who we are is a vibration of love. You look at any little kid, they're just love. They're just pure love, right? They look at their toes and their fingers and they're like, wow, this is crazy. Look at this ink pen. This is so cool. They are just enamored and in love with everything everywhere. And it's infectious. Like an adult can see a baby and just be totally taken away. Oh, Pat says, if I pointed at my nose, does that mean I'm nosy? No, it doesn't mean you're nosy. But here's another example, on recording of somebody that does that. I go, me. And really, I don't mean it to detract from the point that I'm trying to make, is that a majority of the people, they do this. I go, here's me, here I am, this is me. They don't go, here I am, this is me. And forgive me when I, look with my eyes are all darty, like over here like this. Because I'm trying to run a bunch of chat room, and and like I have this monitor that's really big and this microphone right here. And I'm trying to do all these things. So please excuse, don't interpret that as me not caring or looking off or something. I'm trying to do all these things, but let me I just totally got off track, because this is an important point of this conversation to get really present with it. And it's this concept that you are love. And when you are a baby and you're born and you're bathed in this presence and you're like, you are it. You are perfection. You are built in the image of perfection. That the creator, whatever you call it, we'll call it nature, we'll call it the universe, we'll call it God, we'll call it dude, like the creator is present with you at all times. Like if this is the egg and this is the sperm and it comes over, before they even touch right there, their energetic fields overlap. So they don't even touch yet, but the field overlaps. And right there contains all of the information. It's all there. Everything that's going to go into the development and expression of you and your physical life, your physical body, your physical world, it's all right there. The information is in the field, and it is perfect. And that perfection guides the expression of life. I don't know how somebody could not. I mean, I'm not trying to challenge anyone's belief about, the nature of things and God and the universe, but what I'm saying is that I don't care how smart you are, you can't make a baby. You can have a bunch of money and know people, you can buy people and their education, it doesn't matter. There is no depth of human knowledge that could ever make a baby. I don't care how many Bunsen burners and beakers and stuff that you have. You can't make a baby. It's a miracle. It is the expression of life guided. It unfolds through this guidance of creation. It's love. This is what I'm telling you. That guidance and that presence and that perfection, they come together, and there's a cell that divides into 2 and into 4 and in 8 and 16, 32 and 64 and on and on and on until you see a person like me right here in front of you. So that information that was in the womb that guided the expression of that life, that is the unconditional love. It's not romantic. It's not, a marriage. It's not dating. It's not infatuation. It's unconditional. And I think that it's important for you to do this with me. Let's go on this little journey. You're a little kid. You're 6 months old. You're just alive. You're just feeling wonderful. You're feeling terrific. You're love. Everything's terrific. You know what? When you're in love, like there's no problem in the world that you can't handle, you can't deal with, right? You're just like, none of it matters. I am love. Like I'm feeling this thing. It's all I care to feel. Um, give me just 1 second. Thank you, Pat, for that comment. It was just sorry, it took me a second. It was a big comment. When I'm trying to take you guys on this journey, so excuse me for bailing on it. But what I was saying is that when you are this baby and you're in this like vibrational state in essence of love, and you're emitting and you're permeating everyone and everything, and like adults come and see you and they're like, oh my god, you're so cute, I want to pinch you, I want to like it influences another person. They are overwhelmed with the memory of that. They, on some level, like deep down in some unconscious, subconscious, limbic, instinctual kind of level, they remember that. They remember being that way. They want to go that way. Like the baby represents to them, they return home, like connecting again to something, and they just want to grab that baby and hold it and kiss it and smile, and they just smile and they make these faces at the baby like, baby, 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 baby. You know what I'm talking about, right? This is what people do when they see babies. Unless they hate babies or something. I mean, I'm sure there are some people that don't like babies. When you are in that state, you are authentic. You are being you. You are an expression of the true nature of who you are. Okay, that's where I'm going with this. When you are young, you haven't had a chance to screw it up. You haven't had a chance for other people to screw it up for you and beat you over the head with some big stick called their beliefs and their dogma. I get a little bit fired up about in the world of religion and like organized structure, belief systems, whatever yours is, they go after the children. And it was a psychologist, I think in the early 80s or maybe the late 70s, behavioral psychologist, and he understood this concept of the brain, human brain and the mind. He said, if you give me a child, I'll mold them into anything. I'll make them become whatever you want. If you want warriors, give me your children, I'll make them that. Okay, and I'm going to come back to that point later when we talk about hypnotic rhythm. I want you to pretend for just a second that you're a little kid. You're 5 years old, okay? Or 4. I'm just making up a number, but you're a kid. And you are just enamored with the world. You're just in love with everyone, like my son. He's 4 years old right now. And my youngest son is about 15 months or so. They just smile everything, everywhere. He falls on the ground and smashes his face, and he gets up and he cries for a second, and I pick him up and he just smiles. He's like, it's okay. I get hurt, but that's not me. That's just an experience I had. I'm done with it because I am unconditional. I am love. So pretend you're this kid and you're feeling connected and you're being authentic and you're being present and you're connected with the world. And you're a creator, right? So you're being creative and you're feeling the emotion that we call creative. And you get out some art supplies, you get your paints out or something, and you start painting, and you're like making something out of nothing. There was nothing there, and then you're making it. It's like from inside of you, and it comes out, and it's this expression, and it's like all of this energy that you have inside of you that you're trying to communicate with the world and the people around you. It's love, okay? So let's say you decide you want to paint your house, and there's a big tree out in the front yard. You paint that tree because it has a swing on it, and you paint the swing, and there's a dog over there in the corner, and you're just so into it. You know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter if it's a painting. I get this way when I'm cooking dinner. I'm just like understanding how if I brown the meat first and then let the oils come out, but don't cook it too much. I do it in batches so that It doesn't get real watery and it browns and sort of sears the edges. Like it's an expression of being so present and authentic. So in this analogy of you being a kid, you're painting. You've got the cat and the dog. You've got the swing outside on the tree. You've got the house. You have everything there. There's mom and there's dad. There's your little brother. You are just like the epitome of it all. And you go get mom because it's so cool that you're like, hey, mom, come share with me. I love you and I love this and I want to show you this and I feel so great and I'm wide open. I'm just expressing myself in this body, in this physical body. Like I am this spiritual, energetic being having this physical experience and I'm in this body like, wow, this is so cool. Have you ever felt like that? Seriously, tell me, have you ever felt like in moments go, wow, this is so much bigger than me? Like it has to be, right? I know that you have. I know you have. I don't even have to ask you. So stay with me. Stay with me on this journey. You go get mom and you say, mom, you got to come in the other room and look at this. I painted the house and the tree. And when she walks in the room, she sees that you didn't paint it on the easel or the paper she bought you. You painted it all over the wall in the living room, right? This is what kids do. They don't know. Oh, the wall is really important. Don't paint there. Okay. They're just being authentic and expressing themselves. And in that moment, pow, like dynamite goes off. Mom sees it on the wall. Mom screams. Mom says no. Maybe even, and it could be dad too. Pick on mom. Maybe the spanking happens. Maybe the scolding, the yelling, the shaming, all of these like, what am I trying to say? I'm getting wound up too. This negative, that's all it is. I'm being an authentic expression of me, and I learn from them from the outside. Yeah, even if you use lipstick to do it all over the wall. What I learn is that that's not right, and don't do that. Oh, you were being authentic and true to yourself? No, there's some rules, and you need to figure this out. And as a little one, you don't spend a lot of time trying to fight for your position. You just go, hey, I don't like it when the big people scream at me and when they spank me. And I do like it when they give me food and stuff like that. So I better start figuring out how they want me to act so that I can get from them the things that I need. I need help. I mean, this is the evolutionary gamble of human beings, is that we don't have a fully developed cerebral cortex at birth. We don't, like a human baby comes out, if you leave them there, they're never going to make it. But a horse has a baby, boom, it comes out, it gets up, it's ready to walk, it's ready to go. So there's a difference here about the development of our brain, and it's a gamble that we took. I really believe that, because if we didn't bet all of our chips on the higher functions of our cortex and our brain power, then we would have ended up basically being more simple in our circuitry and in our, our hard drive and our hardware here. But that'll be another talk. Susie did lipstick. Pat and Susie didn't use paints at all. They used lipstick. I don't think I use lipstick, but I bet you half of the people on here probably did, because this is a theme. There's another one. Okay. This is the point. Okay. This is the only reason that we're having this conversation, is I want you to understand that you are love. You are unconditional love. You are built in the image of that perfection. You are perfect. And it is that part of you, that vibrational essence of you that is love, that is like the center of all of it, and it's right here. Okay. So we need to learn how to trust that and to be with that, because here's what happened when you were a kid. You were here in the heart, right? And then all of a sudden something happened. The color, painting on the wall with the lipstick, and you jump up here into your head. Okay, that's the moment that it happens. And you go, I was being this, but I better start figuring out how to be this, because I need to get the certain things that I need from these people. When that happens, boom, you move up here, right? And I know you can relate to that. And you know the difference between thoughts, which happen up here when you're thinking really hard, or you like get into some idea. It's all up here versus this feeling down in here. And in a minute, I want to talk about how we cultivate this sense of feeling and this connection with something greater, because this part of us, we call it heart, like I'm calling it now, but you can, it's a gut or solar plexus or intuitiveness that is connected to so much more information out there than our conscious mind and our thinking processes could ever be connected with. You know that. If you are hip with the principle of unity and that we are all one, because it's the truth, because our nature of our universe is holographic, and that the tiniest piece of the whole thing contains all of the information that makes all of it. If that sounds too hippie for you, look at your own body and your own cells. They all have DNA, and every cell has that DNA in there, and the DNA is the expression of all the different parts of your body. They're all there. Boom, 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 boom. They're all different, but they all come from the same thing, that the information that makes up the whole is contained in the tiniest part. That's what I mean by holographic in nature. The whole is there. We are all, it's all one. There's no separation or no difference. It's just a different expression of it. In a physical world, the expression of that information or energy is different, but the physical world is secondary to something bigger and greater. And that might even be a great transition into Energy Man, but there's one more thing I want you to understand here. And it's the power of your moment here from heart to head, just boom, boom. There's just so much power right here. And a lot of times we associate this with being positive, and then some experience happens that forces us here, and that's negative, right? I was being positive and creative, and then I got a spanking, and I jumped up here to try to figure out and learn I should never do that again, because they don't want me to do it, because their walls are so, a wall is really important, right? For the longevity of the life of the family and the house. Like the wall, it better not ever get some crayons or paint on it. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic, but sorry, my mind just totally went in a different direction. Please forgive me the pause. What I want you to understand is, in that moment, we get into our head and we begin to think, and we distance ourselves from the nature of who we are. That's the point. That's all that we're trying to say. And I hope that you're with me on that. I hope that you get that, because that nature of who we are is where we gotta get back there. We gotta return. That's home. We gotta go home. We gotta go chill at home. And you're always, you never want to go back to your parents' house. When you're like in your 20s and you move out, you don't want to move back in. You got to move back in. You got to get back home. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's like a big brother and a little sister. It's like, here's the little sister, here's the big brother. And the big bro is like, don't worry, sis. I won't let those bullies get you. I won't let them knock you down. I'm going to protect you. I'll keep that from happening. It's like this. Here. I'm just going to rip this piece of paper out just for a visual, okay? On one side of the piece of paper, I'm going to write the word negative. And on the other side, I'm going to write the word positive. And the reason I'm doing that, Well, there's a lot of reasons, but I use a chart like this in treatment. So when I have somebody on the table and we're trying to address some of these emotional memories that are stored in the limbic brain and expressing themselves through the subconscious neurology, so that they're having a physical expression of some unlived or like negatively stored thing in the field, or an experience that happened that had emotional intensity and was like hardwired into the field and into the brain. I use a list of negative and positive emotions, which it's backwards, isn't it? Why is it backwards? Do I do this? Flip it? Booyah! Look at me. I'm so smart. I flip it. Okay. Sorry. I don't know where that came from. Okay. Are you guys with me? Give me a yes. Give me some love, all right? I'm all alone in this house in Arkansas. I need to know that you're there with me. I know you are anyway. Okay. This look weird now. I don't like it now. Okay, thank you, John. Thank you, Bulgaria. Pat, Susie. I'm flipping it back. Okay. I know it's backwards. So here's the deal. We have these negative experiences that happen in our life, and we don't like them. We don't want to have them. We only want to have the positive ones. So the mind goes to work to protect us from all this negative crap. It says, this stuff sucks. We only want the good things. So I'm going to go to work to be the filter for you, okay? I'm going to make sure that anything that comes into our awareness, I'm going to screen all of it first, because if it's not going to give us the positive feelings that we love, all the feel good and, all the goodness, then we don't want it. We're not going to do it. We don't need to have it. So here's what we do. Our mind goes like this. It goes, let's get rid of all the negative things and let's just have positive ones, right? And in that moment, when we do that and we make that decision and we focus our thought forms and energy and wiring and intention and purpose, and like our mission is to only be this, then we're only having half of the experience. What I'm telling you is that these things over here on this crap right here, this negative side of things, this is a blessing. All right, this, I'm getting fired up. These are the teachers. This is the moment. This is the decision point. Well, a lot of people they don't see it. They don't know. They don't understand what to do. They're so in their head and so far removed from the nature of who they are that they don't understand the balance of these things. And they try to stop all of these negative things from happening instead of embracing them and learning from them, instead of understanding that these things are actually clarifying for me. That I thought I wanted, this goal here, X, Y, Z, but it turns out that, all it does is bring this and this and this. So it must not be the thing I want, because I'm awesome and I'm unconditional love and I am born from this state of positivity. That if it's not resonating with me, if it's not helping me get what I want, then maybe what I think that I want is not actually what's in the cards for me. Are you tracking with me? Because I think that all of this crap, this negative side, this is all in your head. This is made up by man. This is all there is. There is only this. Like a great visual example for you to get this is the idea that if you are in a dark room, there's no lights on in the room, but the door is open and the hallway lights are on. Well, the hallway lights spill into the room, right? It's light in the hallway, it's dark in the room. The darkness doesn't spill out into the hallway and create darkness everywhere. It's the other way around. It's like the light comes in and it spills around. So there is no darkness and there is no negativity. There's only absence of light. There's only situations where we are blocking the expression of that energy into our physical world. And so therefore we view it as negative. We create this crap in our mind and we believe it, we buy into it, and we reinforce it again and again and again and again. And it's because we're human, right? This is probably what they meant by sin, which I don't claim to know or understand what that's all about, but we're human and we're going to do that. And I'm glad that we do it because these are moments for us to learn. This is the moment where I go, hey, there's something awesome here. And I'll tell you this, like positive energies like bliss and love and happiness, and they're light and airy and fluffy. These are intense. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is like, it's like hits you in the thumb with a hammer. It hurts sometimes, and it's fast and it's heavy and it's intense. I'm going to tell you guys that the emotion, like the negative stuff, the negative emotions, don't ever be scared of those. I'm serious. Like I'm looking you in the eye right now. Don't ever be afraid of negative emotion. Embrace that. There's power behind that. And you must learn to use that. If any of you guys are part of my Window to the Mind course, I have an entire audio in there under the day-long seminar I did called Subconscious Success. And it's about harnessing the power of negative emotions. We need to listen to that. They are far more powerful than some of these happy things. So there's a blessing in them. They are there for a purpose. They are there to kick you in the face and to bring that out for you guys. Okay, I'm going to just check here. Nobody's raising their hand, but that's cool. You don't have to. I'm just inviting you to. That's all. I'm just checking that. Where's the raise your hand button? It should be right above the chat box. Is it not there? The negative stuff can also be called old tapes that play in your head in certain situations. You bet your butt they're old tapes. You know the saying, they really push my buttons? That's where that comes from. That's where that saying comes from. It's like they know what old tapes to play, and like your family is real good at it. They push the play button, and then you act out the tape. You act out the old thing. All right. Nowhere can find the seminar. If you have questions about that other thing, just email me. I mean, I'm not trying to turn this into I'm not trying to push it or anything, sales pitch. There's just more resources. If you like that, just reach out to me. Like shamans harnessing the shadow side. Yeah, that's what it is. One of my favorite when I was 16 years old, I started reading Carlos Castaneda. And they're just like accounts. They're books he's written about his experience studying with Don Juan Yaqui Indian sorcerer, and about harnessing power, and about like connecting with the personal power so that we can perceive energy directly. And that's what I always go to in my mind when I see shamans that read plants. Like they know, it's crazy. Some plants are medicinal, but only if you boil them for an hour. And if you boil them for 30 minutes, they're poisonous instantly and kill you. So like, how do they know that? How could they know that? Well, they claim, and I say claim because I've never had the experience and there's no way to prove it because it is subjective, but the plants talk to them. And I believe that. I do. I have no reason to doubt that because of their ability to perceive energy directly. Okay. It's to the right of the people. And the plants told them. That's right. Plants talk, man. I remember listening to Gabor Mate, just a phenomenal lecture about child development and brain development. And he said, he went on an ayahuasca journey, wherever that is in Central America, South America. I don't know exactly. And he said, he was trying to have this experience to like connect with God and to see God. And he's like, I'm going for the whole thing. My intention is to experience God. And it didn't happen for him. And like all these other people were all around him were having these great, and he wasn't. He's like, what about me? Like, I'm mad. And when he went outside and he spent the time with the trees, he understood that God was in the trees and that God was in him and God was in his shoe and that God was in the leather in his shoe and that God was everywhere, all omnipotent, all knowing, ever present, all that stuff that goes along with it. And the reason I'm telling you stories is because he said, a week later, the experience and the chemicals that created that sort of hallucinogenic, psychogenic experience that allowed him to perceive the world in a different way. We might say that he moved his assemblage point in reality so that he was bringing together different fibers of the universe to create what he was perceiving. But he said he walks around now and he looks at the trees and he's like, hey, you're not fooling me. I know what's going on in there, which just really, really gives me goosebumps right now just talking about that. That the power that we can have to connect with source, with God, with energy, with the universe, with nature, whatever you want to call it, the ability to look at a tree and be so humble and to connect with your heart and to get back into that state of love, unconditional love. I started to write an email today and then I erased it for whatever reason and wrote a different one. But it was about the idea of being as dumb as a tree because they don't think they're judge or reason. They just are. They just are. They just respond perfectly to the environment around them. I'm going to read this real quick. Pat says there's an experiment where they put an instrument that reads energy on plants. They said they were going to burn the plants. Oh, okay, this is the book, The Secret Life of Plants. Shoot. It's in the other room. I forget the author's name. Secret Life of Plants. There's also a great one that the author wrote, Secret Life of Cells. They put a galvanometer in the soil, which just measures electrical resistance. And then they did things to the plant and measured the needle on the galvanometer to see if there was a response in electrical conductance in the soil. So like people will argue about how scientific that is. It's, in my mind, it's 100% foolproof. Like there's no way that you could make any argument that the measurements are changing because of the experiment that's being done. Okay, so I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on the author's name. But they have all these plants in the room, okay? They did it to all, they put the galvanometer in all the plants. I mean, they did a bunch of examples, but the pinnacle of the experiment was they put a plant in there and a guy went in the room and he beat up the plant. He threw it on the ground. He broke the pot. He stepped and jumped on it. He called it stupid. He said it was a loser. He said, there's nothing. You're dead. You're dead to me. I hate you. You're dumb. You're a loser. And then he left. Okay, so most people are like, it's a plant. It doesn't matter. Let me just go get my weed whacker and trim up the yard. Okay, there's grass. It doesn't know. It doesn't care. It's grass. But what they discovered was that when they had people walk through the room, let's say it was like 10 people, they had a number of people walk through the room, and they randomly put the guy that beat up the plant in that group of people. So like 3 people walk through the room and they're looking at the needles of the plants that they're trying to measure this resistance. Nothing happens. But when that guy walks through the room, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. Just in his field. He's just in their space. All right. He walks through the room. The needle goes crazy. The plant remembers him. The plant has consciousness. It is energy. It is pure energy. Okay. It's Peter Tompkins. That's what it is. It is just the essence or expression of the creator. It's just, that's why the plants don't think, judge, reason. They just respond perfectly. And they knew that was a threat and they had the memory of it. And what was really cool, it wasn't just that plant. All the other plants in the room went nuts when that guy walked through. And when he was done and he left, 4 more people walked through, and the plants, they're like, hey, you're cool. I like you. It doesn't matter. Well, there they go. So how about them apples for you? That's crazy. I go into some more, I think it's in, I don't know, one of my courses. It's inside of Window to the Mind, where I go into some of those books and talking about those experiments, because it's undeniable is what it is. And so people that say energy healing is stupid woo-woo, I would never do that. Well, why don't you read a little bit before you just open your mouth and spew a bunch of crap out of it. We're all connected. We're all connected. Okay. That was fun. We went in a different direction. So I'm just going to check to see if anybody's dying to jump in here. So I'm just going to keep talking. If you want to talk, you can. You can talk. If you have some wisdom to share, please do. And if not, it's 100% okay. I promise you. Please, if you're feeling like I don't want to do it, then don't do it. All right, so we've gone through the first of our 3 topics. I thought we would be done with that in 20 minutes, but here we are at almost an hour in. Okay, so if you want to hang, then I'm going to keep going. As an herbalist, this path of discussion was especially fun for me, says Susie. It's cool, Pat. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I kind of want to talk about this idea of the herbalist. And for this next section, I was reading a lot in the book Vibrational Medicine, but written by Richard Gerber, because there's a chapter in there. And I think that next Saturday, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go like Quantum Physics for Dummies Part 2, because it's about the evidence. Like in that webinar last Saturday, I guess took you on this path, because really I wanted you to arrive at a place where you understood the power of your thinking and the influence of brainwave entrainment. That's where I wanted you to go. So, I set them up in a sequence, but really I want you guys to understand the subtleties, like our energetic body and the field around us. It's about subtleties. Like I called it this last week, Newtonian physics and quantum physics, the physical world and the etheric world. And here it's about power, all right? And here it's about subtleties. One of the most powerful therapies that I'll use in a clinical setting is low-level laser therapy, lasers, and less is more. If I test the body and it says we need these 4 specific frequencies, and we need them for this long, let's say it's 90 seconds. Sometimes people are like, that's not very long. But, in the linear mind, you say, well, if 90 seconds is good, then 10 minutes is better. And it's not. It's proven in controlled clinical, laboratories that more is not better. But it's the subtle cues and it's the subtle touches. And this is the power of energetic work. This is the power that you emanate through your hands here, right? This is the power that every one of us owns. We got it. We have it. It's us. And we can use it, or we can just deny it. But and if you guys that are sharing your emails, that's totally cool. The chat room stuff will not show up in a replay, so no one else will see those things. So feel free inside of this room to be able to talk to each other and to do that stuff. It's going to be totally just exclusive to us in our group here. I also have a special gift for you guys at the end, but I'll give it to you at the end. That's my teaser to keep you, and it'll be specifically for you guys here on the live event. So if you're watching the replay, sorry. This is the benefits of being here live and playing and participating and being in a chat room where I keep looking over here like this. Chat room, camera, microphone, chat room, camera, tabs, chat room, camera. I love it, though. Okay, so well, someone's asking, how do we make connection with plants? You don't have to try. You already are all the time. Like the fact, if let's say you're sitting in your apartment and there's a park, you know, across the street, everything you're thinking, those plants, they're picking up on it. They know it. See, my grandmother did this experiment, and I did one kind of like it that was based off of the hidden messages in water, where you cook rice and then you put the word love on one of the jars and you put the word hate on one of the jars, and then I even had one with no words on it, so it was a neutral, it was a control, and every day you tell the you don't need a teaser to keep us. um, well, shoot, all right, then here you go. Let me just load it because I have it to go where I just click the things and it pops up. You click the link, it goes right to, I think if you right click it, save as, no, that won't work. Well, let me show you how to do it and then I'll get back to the topic. Let me share my screen. Okay, so you will click the button that says free love meditation and it'll bring you to this page. It's a meditation that I built a few years back. And what you'll do is you'll just hover right over the bar here, right click it, and then click save as. You'll be able to download it directly as an MP3, or you can just click it and listen to it live right there. And if you have trouble with that, just send me an email and I'll hook you guys up. I'll just send it to you. Shit, what was I talking about? Something. Yeah, if you're feeling down, go hug a tree. Okay. I'm saying that not only does the tree across the street get you and vibe on everything, but all trees everywhere, all over the world instantaneously. And this was the experiment we talked about last week called non-local phenomena. That in the quantum world or in the etheric world, time and space don't exist. It's just instantaneous, everywhere, all the time, all knowing. Bada boom, bada bing. It's everywhere. So thank you for the rice experiment and reminder, Susie. I cooked rice. I put the rice in these little, mason jars, and I put words on them. If you guys have never seen this, it's the book Hidden Messages of Water. There's a great section in the movie, What the Bleep Do We Know, where they show this, when they would tape a word to a jug of water, and the vibration of the word would change the structure of the water, and they would freeze the water and take pictures of the crystals. And so the word love had a specific crystal that it generated, and the word happiness, and like listening to important music like Beethoven's symphony had a signature, and the crystals would do that. And then like negative words like hate and like I hate you, or they would play heavy metal and stuff. And fascinating stuff. If you don't know about that, that is Masuru. I know the last name is right, Emotu, and the book is Hidden Messages of Water. Fantastic book, and you can find a lot of free resources online to look at it. You don't have to buy the book. Which movie? The movie is the weirdest name in the world. It's What the Bleep Do We Know? I bet you can find that movie on YouTube. I bet you can. You can at least find the Hidden Messages of Water part in it. Okay. So in the rice experiment, basically, the one that I projected love to, I came in every day at the office and I looked at that and I was like, you're such a great jar of rice. I love you so much. You're so awesome. You're the best in the world. You're so good at being rice. Look at you. You're just little pieces of rice just sitting there. So cute. In fact, I'm hungry looking at that. Like, it makes me just want to gobble you up. All right. Verse. The other one, I would walk in and I would do my face like this. I hate you, rice. You're the worst rice in the whole world. You suck at being rice. What makes you think you could be rice? Okay. And what I found after a 6 month period was the rice in the love jar. After about 6 months, it kind of started to get a little bit of mold to it. Um, the other one had turned black and liquid. It had putrefied and rotted. You just do that. It's really fun. It's a really cool experiment. You can do that yourself. Prove it to yourself. Just make sure that you sterilize everything so you don't get bacteria introduced into it. I mean, I just did it in my dishwasher at home and had the rice and just came out of the dishwasher, went right in, closed it up. And I mentioned there was a third one with no words on it. There was the control group, and it did okay for about half of the experiment before it went into like rotten, putrefied junk. Okay, so we're going to move into. I was telling you too, my grandmother, she was kind of a green thumb just because she loved the plants. And she just talked to them. And she told them how beautiful they were and how awesome they were and what a great job they were doing and how much joy they brought her. And she did an experiment with some like really expensive flowers. I think my granddad was mad about it because he had to buy them. And she told them how stupid they were and they died real quick. And she's like, okay, this is legit. And there's no better way to test that than to do it yourself and to learn and to figure it out. So we're going to move into this idea of the energy man. And I'm going to draw you guys a picture. I'm going to turn my camera off for 2 minutes. I'm going to take a break, you guys. Okay? I'm going to take a restroom break. So give me just 2 minutes. I will be right back and we'll go into Energy Man. Go ahead and take your own break if you need to. Guys, this is crazy. We've been here for an hour and we only got through the first one of the three. I'll stay. I'm going to stay. I'm going to make you tap out. I'm going to make you leave. Hmm. Just reading the comments. One of the things here Pat is saying is she works with light and color and sound, which is energy. I mean, light is a wavelength spectrum that hits your retina and creating different color. Okay. Sound is a wavelength. It's incredible that people think energy is weird and foo-foo when I have a thought in my head. My nerves transmit it to the muscles to shape my vocal cord so I speak, and I send out this vibration into the room that penetrates your eardrum and vibrates the bones inside of the middle ear, uh, which transmits to a nerve signal that goes to your brain. Like, that's insane. Okay. Yeah, Leah, you gotta love those plants, and it pays off big, doesn't it? Pays out big. Okay, glad that you guys are connecting with each other. This is what this is about. It's not the TED show. It's about a tribe. Like, there will be people that lead the way, and it'll be you, and it'll be me, and it'll be all of us, and we'll do it together through the process of like masterminding, like creating something through our minds. What's up, Dale? I like that. I don't know anyone named Dale. You're the only Dale I know. Okay. It's funny. I was talking about Window to the Mind, and I got a notification that someone bought it. I wonder if it was one of you guys. I don't think so. Somebody named Aaron in Minnesota. Okay. Here we go. Round 2, hour 2. Dun, dun, dun. It's cool though, isn't it? Like, I'm really having fun, and I'm glad that you guys are also having fun and plugging in. So I'm telling you that, and I did this last week. The topics are here for a reason, and they're in a sequence. I'm like, we're building up to something. So if you're having fun now, then wait till we get to the end, because it's really about helping you guys get what you want out of life. It really is. Yeah, like, I kind of get pissed off at all of these law of attraction people. Not that I totally am, I believe in all of that stuff, like, it doesn't matter if I know it. I don't have to believe it. It's true. And there's evidence, in my life, through my subjective experience. There's evidence objectively, because there's science to prove it and to back it up. So that's what I was alluding to. Next week, I'm going to go a little bit more sciencey in terms of talking about law of attraction, talking about the energetic field and the power on that quantum level, the subtleties of that. So let's talk a little bit about the subtleties of the human body and our sort of energetic anatomy. And I'm going to jump right to share the screen here again with you. Where's that paint program? There it is. Okay. Brushes. Give me a fat brush. Okie doke. Maybe I'll start with the skinny one. So here's what I want you guys to go with me on a journey. I'm going to be artistic here for a second. Draw a stick person. This is Energy Man. Okay, so On the outside of Energy Man is a layer of the field. And we sometimes disagree on what it's called. So let's not get caught up on the semantics of whether it's an emotional body, a mental body, a physical body, a causal body, a etheric body, an astral body, because it's irrelevant to the point that we're trying to make. Okay. But this is physical person. They look very haggard. They look like they've been up since 3:30 this morning, right? Okay, so there's information that comes from the top and it comes down, and it's a field around our physical body, but it's open on the top and it's open on the bottom. And there are many layers to this field. So this is why I say let's not get into a sort of discussion about what they're called and what they are, because I find that everyone has a different opinion on it. And so I don't want to open a can of worms where we all are missing the point. So you see the person here, and this is the field around them. This is, we'll call it the etheric body. It's kind of this, or maybe even just electromagnetic field, but this is something that you can measure. Okay. And there is science to back this up. And I'm going to spend next week talking about that. Okay. So just to tease you a little bit. If you guys go with me here, I'm going to draw a few more layers around this body. So we're going to have one that is red. And just for sake of conversation, I'm going to call it the emotional body. And then I'm going to have another one that's blue. And I'm going to call it the mental body. So you can see we have all of these fields, these layers of the field around us. And while I'm in the screen share mode, I can't see any comments or anything. So you're just having to go with me here. If you're talking to me, I can't hear it. But here's ultimately what, regardless of what we like to call these or name these, they're there and there are levels of them. So I'm saying that the red one is the emotional body. Oh, I make that bigger. Okay, whoops. And the blue one, we'll call it the mental. Actually, I have pictures to go with it. The gray one, it was etheric. And I did them out of order, but anyway, who cares? But here's the cool one, okay? The green one, this is love, God, spirit. Okay, I haven't drawn the green one yet, so don't jump on me, but that's what green is going to represent. So there is a green around us, but it's not a layer. It's just everywhere. It's all the things. It's all around us. Okay, just follow me here, and it's just out here everywhere. The green, and this is something I've adopted from something my aunt taught me. She's a very smart woman, and I have a lot of love and respect for what she has brought to the world. So I definitely want to give her credit. Her name is Sue Mortar. She even did a TED talk where she draws the energy man. So you might dig it. Anyway, what I'm trying to show you, okay, is that right here, where your heart is, I did it. I drew the heart. You are born from this love, God, spirit energy. And so it is permeating everywhere all the time, all knowing, everywhere. Yada, yada, yada. And it is also inside of you. So it's like these gigantic rays of green are trying to get to us all the time. So I'm going to draw a few arrows here with a different brush just so they stand out a little bit. It's like the green is trying to get through to us all the time. It wants to be part of our physical world. It wants to bathe us all the time. That's a great way of saying it. So here's what happens. We use our mind in a way that we focus on something negative, okay? And in that moment, in that mental body, in that blue field, we have a negative experience, or we reinforce a negative belief. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm too tall. I'm too short. My nose is too big. My nose is too small. I don't have enough hair. I have too much hair. I have eyes. I don't have eyes. My eyes are crooked. My eyes are not good. My eyebrows are funny. Whatever crap we come up with. And you know what I'm talking about. You do it all the time. I mean, I do it. And I'm the one that, it's like supposed to be the teacher and teaching this stuff. I do it because I'm human and it's in our nature and we will do it. We will always do it. So do not ever waste a second beating yourself up or feeling guilty that you're human and you're having a human experience and doing these things that humans do. Please promise me that. So let's say I have an idea for a business and I want to, I don't know, whatever it is. I want to sell cupcakes. So I go out and I try to start a business and 6 months it fails. It's over. So I put this black gunk into the field right here in my mental body. And so the next time I think about starting a business, I pull on this old experience. All right. And let's say over here, my mom or dad was mean to me and so I had hurt feelings and betrayal in my emotional body. And let's say when I was, in school, something happened. And then when I was a kid here, and when this happened, and I'm just trying to illustrate for you that let me even back up. I'm trying to illustrate to you that we, using our mind and our emotions, using these subtle energetic fields that are also in conjoinment with our physical world, we create this gunk. We create it. And one of the things that Gerber said in his book, wish I would have bookmarked the damn thing now that I'm here trying to talk about it, but it was just genius, and I want to read it. I don't want to try and paraphrase it or anything. I should have done a better job. Okay. I found it, and it's a paragraph that I want to read. One of the discoveries that researchers in psychology and medicine will eventually make someday is that non-ferrous matter also has magnetic properties, which ferrous matter does. Ferrous is iron. So this includes the matter which goes into the substance of human thought and feelings. Okay, so there's a case being made in this chapter, and I'm just getting to the punchline and getting rid of the other parts that are important for you to build up to it. But I'm just going right to the punchline. It's saying that the matter that goes into the substance of thought and feeling, it's not magnetism like the world of big stuff where it attracts iron, filings, but it is a species of magnetism. It is definitely magnetism, and it attracts other substances in harmony with it. So here's what I'm going to come back to this paragraph, but I'm going to, this is Ted now talking, that the field that these etheric, astral, emotional, mental, like the field around us has magnetic properties that attract to it things that are in harmony with it. Okay? So I'm going to go back to the paragraph here. Experimenters will eventually find that emotions must be dealt with both as highly magnetic, non-physical matter and as an aspect of consciousness. The difficulty in treating many emotional illnesses stems in part from the fact that the emotions which cause these problems tend to be magnetically responsive to a type of matter in the field here, which easily glues or is magnetized itself to our own feelings and to more of those feelings that other people have. This magnetic action makes it very difficult to get rid of the bad stuff and therefore the emotional problem, and we repeat the emotional problem. Let me stop this for a second. Get my things back on here and talk to you guys for a second. Kind of like tuning fork analogy. It's definitely like attracts like. That's what it's saying. It's a principle of magnetism. To just give you a little of the steps beforehand, it was measuring the the therapeutic magnetic fields generated from the hand or from the human, from the energy worker or healer, and that it had a immediate impact on activity and enzymes. It was a test tube full of enzymes. And what they found is that if they just put a magnet next to the enzymes, it made them work and do things. And a similar thing happened with hands. So I'm not equating the power of a magnet with hands in a very literal sense, because when they try to measure the power and the Gauss radiated from the magnets they used to get those reactions, it was like 26,000 times more powerful than the magnetic resonance of Earth in the measurement of Gauss. So it's subtle. Coming from the hands was very subtle. So it's not magnetic like we think of in the world of big stuff with these magnets. So there's a reason why, and I'm totally teasing you right now because I'm going to talk about this next week. But I want to go back to the drawing. And I just wanted to read this part to you because it was basically saying that certain types of subtle physical or etheric matter seem to attract specific illnesses to the body. The right type of magnetism administered as an herbal or a homeopathic or like a flower essence or a laying of hands or a Reiki or even like a physical treatment. I'm trained as a chiropractor. I never, ever, ever crack anyone's neck or back. But even something physical, like a chiropractor, an osteopathic doctor might, manipulate a joint or something, or a physical therapist. They're working with the physical, but it's having those cues and impulses created inside of that etheric world. So the physical is secondary. The energetic is primary. So when they make a physical correction or something like that, if a chiropractor grabs your neck and goes, which a lot of people like, kind of terrifies me, but whatever. And I'm a chiropractor. It's basically saying that the right type of what we're calling this subtle magnetism or this energy match here, if you administer it, it will dispel the bad stuff and create the cure. That's basically all we're going to. So there's a whole lot of crap that we still need to figure out. And those kind of conversations really excite me because I'm a thinker and I like to pretend that, I'm a smart person. But the thought of pioneering something in that direction is just so exciting to me. It really is. And I want to know everything I can about it. And I want to read about it. I want to know it. And if I'm ever, this is something that Charlie Munger said. Charlie Munger is a self-made billionaire. He was Warren Buffett's mentor. Charlie Munger said that if you ever are going to have a real staunch belief, take a stance on something, then first you better be able to argue the opposition side better than they can even argue it. Like, you need to know all of it before you decide to be like, this is how it is. And until then, you need to be like, I don't know how it is. I'm open. I want to learn. Tell me. Abraham Lincoln said, I never met a man that I didn't learn from, even though most of the time I learned what to not do or what to not say. So all of those things that I'm saying, Enneagram, it sounds like I Ching. I should know Enneagram. I do know what it is. I just can't think of it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatever you type in here. It's all energy, and they're all subtle. They're all little cues and little touches. Less is more. Yeah, Susie says, I know that I hardly know a thing. I started to type that email today. I'm as dumb as a tree. It's like the more that you know, the more you're interfering with your connection. So just it's all centered around the ego anyway. Like this heart and head, this is kind of like your true nature and your ego. Like the ego wants to drive the bus. It wants to be in control, and it wants to create lots of traps for you to make sure that you don't leave it behind and that you don't leave it in the dust. You know this is true too. So I want to finish this picture here. Where did I put that thing? Let me move the icon over here. Share my screen again with you. Okay, so this is kind of how we get into trouble. You followed me on the picture. So when the green stuff, let me draw another arrow. The green's coming in hot, boom, but it hits this gunk and it bounces off in this direction. It can't get through. And it's coming from this way, boom, and it bounces off and it can't get through. So when we're not connected with the perfection that we're built in the image of, then we're not receiving all of the information that it takes in order for us to be healthy, happy, successful, for us to feel a life of love and joy and bliss and satisfaction and fulfillment, to feel birth, to feel passion, renewal, morality, intimacy, quietness, tranquility, all of the things that we want so badly that are inside of us all the time because they are the green. It's like they can't make the connection. They can't get out. And we build this wall around us. And the wall comes from our negative experiences and our negative thought patterns. We reinforce with our mind again and again all of the things that we don't like and don't want and want to get rid of and want to avoid and not focus on. And we end up creating the damn things. So here's what's happening inside of this field. The heart, it's reaching out. It's trying to reach out to the green. They want to get back together. Hey, green, what's up, buddy? Nothing, green. How are you doing? They want to hang out. But when there's gunk in the field, boom, it can't get out. When there's gunk in the field, boom, it bounces off and it can't get out. So it's like this area that we call the gunk here. I'm going to circle it in green. This area of gunk, it's like the universe is trying to chip away at it from the outside. We're trying to chip away at it from the inside. But if we keep using our mind in a way that we reinforce it and create a permanent layer and wall of gunk, this is what I'm going to call hypnotic rhythm. It makes it permanent. We use our mind in a way that we reinforce through habit and repetition, and we create something that nature makes permanent for us. So that we ultimately, it's like if we don't use our mind correctly, then the world throws a bunch of lessons that we call problems. It throws them in our lap and it says, hey, you need to figure out how to creatively, intuitively, you need to innovate your way out of this. You need to figure out how to get out of this. And 99.999% of the time, it's about learning something. Nothing in your life, I'm going to turn this off. Nothing in your life happens to you. All right? Look at me. Nothing happens to you. Everything happens for you so that you can learn something. So you need to be obsessed with this idea of what is the lesson for me right now? What is it here now that I'm supposed to be getting? Why did I create this? Okay, it's not about like feeling horribly wrong and guilty that you created some, horrible tragedy in your life or financially or whatever position you're in that you don't like. It's not about feeling bad and beating yourself up about it. It's about you saying, okay, I should have been prepared. I should have known better. I should have been planning for this. So it's my fault that it happened. But you know what? My bad. I was busy that day. I wasn't thinking so, but now I know. I learned. See, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That if I can learn, then I expand and then I grow and then I become this expanded version of myself. Like I show up to my life in a different version of who I was before I had that experience. So from that mentality, I embrace all of it. I'm so excited for all of it. All of the things that we think are the shittiest problems in the world for us are these blessings. Remember this thing here, the negative list of stuff? Like these are the blessings to slap you in the face and say, wake up. Wake up for a second. There's something you're not getting, and that's why you're creating this. So really think about what is that? What is that lesson for you? I'm getting fired up again. This idea of energy, man, is just to show you. I'm going to go back one more time just to show you this crazy picture that I made. I'm going to get rid of that part. Taking parts of it out. That when the gunk is in the field, oops, it's blocking. It is creating a wall. It is separating you from source. It is creating distance and dissonance. It is making you apart from instead of one with all. You are not united with all of the universe and expression and consciousness. You are not tapped into the vast source of everything, of all knowing and the oneness, if you are interfering with it by improper use of your mind. Do you dig? So in this picture, I'm just trying to show you that we use our mind to create this gunk, and where energy work comes in, where physical therapeutic work comes in, is by altering and removing the stuff that's in the field. See, what Gerber said in his book is that we put the stuff into the field through the improper use of our mind and emotions, that we put it in there and it starts like a magnet attracting other things that harmonize with it. So in order for us to stop the runaway train, we need to have some serious problems show up in our life to punch us in the face and break us free from that crap. That's what the gunk is, and that's what your negative experiences are. That's all your problems are. They're a gift. They're there for you to learn something. All right. Get off of that. Get off that soapbox. Okay. Let me look at these comments for just a second. Thank you, Susie, for the Enneagram. I think that's what I Ching stuff are, their Enneagrams. Okay. Anyone have their hand raised? No. You guys are shy. Look at me, I'm in front of his camera the whole time. But it's okay. It's part of my personality. I'm very social. I'm an ENFP, so I'm like very out there. And like these are the things that feed me. And selfishly, I learn by teaching and talking. So this is very, very beneficial for me. Susie says it is difficult for someone to accept their illness as a gift. Yeah, because we have been drifting our whole life. People have been pumping crap into our head about it. People have just been telling us that in a mechanistic world, a disease is just like a broken part. If we can get in there and fix the part, ignoring completely that it's all holistic and dynamic and everything influences everything else. We've been taught to look outside of ourselves for solutions. When you're little and you get sick, what happens? You go to the doctor, you go somewhere, you do something, you take something, you change what you're doing. It all comes from the outside. It's like, if I can just figure out the thing to do, everything will be right in here. One of the things that I really hammer home for my son, he's 4. Anytime that he is sick, he has a fever and a cough and he can't go to school or something, it's not a sick day, it's a healing day. Like, wow, your body is totally transforming so that it can naturally heal. This is great. If your body wasn't doing this, then there might be a bigger problem. See, something like, let's just pick the chronic illness of the day, like diabetes or heart disease or stroke or cancer or fibromyalgia or any of those things at all. I don't care what it is anyway. I don't care if it's cancer. To me, cancer is like a headache. It is a secondary effect of something else, and it's just more intense, all right? And so it kills you. A headache won't kill you, so people get really scared and they're afraid of dying. Like, they live, people live as if the things that are like they're going to live forever. And when it comes to things that are really important to them and dreams and goals they have, they're like, I'll get to that because I'm going to be around forever and it doesn't matter. But if it's stupid things, they just get so obsessed with, urgency. And I don't understand why that can't apply to that. And I'm going to stop going off on a tangent. I just want you to understand the idea that in accepting your illness as a gift, you have to say, wow, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for my perfect body. And even though it's expressing something that I don't like right now, it is a perfect expression. My body is responding perfectly to one of two things: either the information of perfection that I'm built in the image of, or it's responding to the interference that I put there. It's responding to the gunk that I put into the field. Like, my physical body is only an expression of the bullshit that I invest in my mind and my thoughts and my energy and my time and my emotions and my money and my presence. I put that stuff and I invest in it, and this is the cause and effect. This is what I get from my return. And so just hypothetically here, let's say I have, lung cancer. I'm still thankful for my lung cancer because it's my the wisdom inside of my body adapting to all of the crap that I gave it. Because if it didn't adapt and give me this new physiological response that we call lung cancer, then I would be dead. The alternative is already being dead. All right. So thank God for my ability to adapt to the input that I put in. And in computer terms, they call it GIGO, for garbage in, garbage out. I'm saying that there is just this power inside of you, and it's perfect, and it's responding perfectly to either the wisdom that created you that was present inside of the womb when you were 1 cell and into 2, and then 4 cells, and then 8 cells, and then 16. That presence didn't abandon you when you were born. It's inside of you, and it's intact 100%. And I promise you that if you as a healer or you as a patient could understand this picture of the energy man and the gunk in the field, if you get that picture, then you understand that the gunk that you put there are unresolved lessons in your life that are waiting for you. And I promise you this, I promise you, if you don't learn the lesson, it will come back, and it will get harder, and it will get meaner, and it will get in your face, and it will take you out. I'm dead serious, because it will kill you. You will learn the lesson, or it will take you out. And so I encourage you, learn the lesson now. Learn it now, because everyone gets it. Most people are like this. They're on their deathbed, and they're taking their last breath, and they go, oh, tell them I love them. All right. They got it right there at the end. They got it. Why can't you just get it now? Get it sooner. You don't have to wait so long. You don't have to wait till that. You don't have to push yourself to that. It's not fair. It's ignorant. It's naive. It's selfish. If not for yourself, for the ones that love you and the people around you, that they are you too. It's, you don't just do something and screw everyone else. It influences and impacts every aspect and every fiber and every thread of your life. I was at the store today, and I went through the checkout line, where the self-checkout, where you scan your own stuff, which is kind of funny. Now they've trained me to scan my own groceries. They don't have to hire a checkout person. But I had one thing that was in the basket, and I was done. And I was like going to pay, and I realized I didn't ring the $5 thing. I didn't ring it up. So I did this. I went, I could probably just not ring it up. No one would know. This place is really busy right now, and no one's watching. But ultimately, this is the way I've trained myself. I would know. I would go to bed at night, and my head would go on the pillow, and nobody else would know except for me, and it would eat me up. It would put gunk into my field. It would be me living my life that is in a way that is not congruent with my goals and what I want to achieve. So something so trivial and little as the $5 thing in the shopping buggy, what it did for me was it reinforced this power for me that I live with integrity. And it doesn't matter if anyone is watching, because I am watching, right? But I am everyone. I am all of it. And I mean, I don't need, you can go down a rabbit hole with all that stuff in a hurry. But I'm just saying that when you live your life in a way that you have purpose and focus, and you're definite about it, you put that into the field, and your physical world and reality and body and expressions and people that you attract and stuff you meet and do, it's all a reflection of that intention and the power of that. Okay. That's what our next section is about, really. What a great segue. Boy, I'm really feeling good, you guys. You got to go through it. You got to go through it. Oh, Pat, this thing you said, you got to go through it. I'm going to tell a story here in a second. Oh, there you go, Anna and the 100th monkey again. We'll get there. Chill out. We'll do it. We'll talk about 100th monkey, not today. Okay. The last section here, I'm going to put on some slides on the screen. And the reason I decided to do this is because I've done this lecture a bunch, and I tend to just like sometimes go way into left field. I didn't share the screen. Got to share the screen. Okay, there's the black hole. And then let's go here. So I'm going to take a concept, and you guys, I can't see any comments or anything right now. So just go with me on this journey. I'm just going to go on a rant here. This comes out of a book written by Napoleon Hill, and with some of my own spices thrown in here. But it's something that Napoleon Hill called the law of hypnotic rhythm. And it basically means that nature has a law that it's a force, like a gravity, okay? It's a constant. It is always working. And its purpose and goal and focus is to make permanent anything that is constant, anything that repeats again and again and again and again and again. So if you are worried about making the money to pay rent And then later on in the day, you're worried about making money to pay rent. And then later on that night, you're worried about making money to pay rent. And then that night, you have a dream about, getting evicted. And then in the morning, the first thing you think about, you get the point. If you are consistently and constantly doing this again and again and again and again, you're going to make it permanent is the point here, okay? So this is what Napoleon Hill was trying to communicate in this topic of hypnotic rhythm and another concept that he calls drifting. So there's something that we see take place for us, and it's nature really maintaining balance. And I've written here that it maintains a balance between energy and matter. This is kind of the idea of, Einstein saying energy and matter are interchangeable, and that but nature keeps a balance between those things. I mean, there's an immense amount of energy inside of these little pockets of matter or this physical world. I mean, this is the idea of atomic bomb, and that it only takes the tiniest little bit of matter to level entire cities in these bombs that were created from it. And, our history has shown us that lesson. But what I want you to just first understand is that it's easy to understand this just by seeing things around you. So you see the orbit of the planets, you see the consistency and the repetition of seasons, the way that, each year it changes, spring, summer, fall, winter. It happens every year without fail. It's a constant. It's consistent. It is held into permanency through a rhythm. Okay? The same way that if you plant corn, it's going to grow corn. You're never going to plant corn seeds and have squash grow out of them. All right? There is a constant there. And you need to understand that nature's goal is to maintain this balance between energy and matter and make things that have found their groove through repetition and habit, make them permanent. Okay? So nature works through these sort of like pieces or building pieces, building blocks. And it's energy. The building blocks are wavelength. And we can refer to them in terms of vibration and frequency, but they're just different wavelength. It's really cool. One of my favorite toys is a far infrared sauna. And the wavelength of light that's emitted from far infrared lamps doesn't make any light, but it does make heat, and it penetrates the body in a different way. And it's a small spectrum of light. You don't even see it, but it's there. Radio waves, when you turn your radio on and all of a sudden music plays, you don't see those or feel them, you can't touch them, but they're there. The blue light that's coming out of your computer screen or your phone right now while you're watching this, it's real, even though you can't touch it, taste it, smell it, feel it. Your five senses are equipped on a conscious level to integrate that information, but they are the building blocks. So this is about how we understand this law and then how we use it. And I don't want to sound cheesy or anything, but it's about your habits. Okay? It's about doing something, having a thought, and then repeating the thought, and then consistently holding on to the thought, and it becomes repetitious, and it becomes this belief, and then it becomes this habit, and when it gets to a habit, you can't even really help it. You just think about it all the time. Like, these are the ideas of cues or something. Like, I see, I walk into a store and the smell of something cues this like every time I go to the store, I have to go and buy, I don't know, this cookie, or I'm doing a bad job of coming up with an example. But it's just the idea that when things become habit, it's tougher to break them. They start becoming more permanent. They are thoughts that are reinforced, that become repetition, that grow into habits. And once there is a habit in place, nature will go to work creating a permanent rhythm out of it. This is the point I'm trying to make. Nature will go to work creating a permanent rhythm out of your habit. So I put here learning music as an example of how this works because it kind of breaks it down into a few steps. So go with me here. First, you learn the notes, right? When you're learning music, you memorize all of them. You think really hard about it and you do it over and over. So you learn the notes and it all happens in your mind. Then each of those notes are related to each other via melody and rhythm. Okay? Melody and rhythm. Then repetition, here's the key right here. You do it over and over and over and over and over, and repetition fixes those things in the mind. So if you're a musician, you know this. And if not, you can just observe any musician, how relentless they are in repeating the song again and 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 again before they master it. Because after they've gone through that, the infamous 10,000 hours of mastery, everything blends together and now it's music. And it's just the way that everything is related. It's the process that we go through in order to achieve that. So this is where I'm going with it, that anything that you think about and what I'm calling an impulse of thought that your mind repeats over and over, it becomes a habit and it becomes organized, and nature puts it into a rhythm. The rhythm is really the last step of habit, what Napoleon Hill called hypnotic rhythm. It's a law of nature. It is a constant that is always happening and existing, independent of what you want or what you're doing. And so it's your duty to understand the law, number one, and then orient yourself appropriately to the law. It's like you can't really blame the law of hypnotic rhythm for your problems that have, formed into these like permanent habits that you don't like, because it's just a constant. It's the way you choose to orient yourself and respectively interface with the law. It's like if you fell out of a tree and broke your arm, you wouldn't be mad at gravity, would you? You'd be like, that gravity, it pulled me right out of the tree and broke my arm. No, you would be like, I failed to really orient myself to the law. And so it was cause and effect, and it was my fault. Okay? So nature's job is to permanently cement them into place. So I mean, this is repetition again. I mean, I'm repeating things here, but anything that you think about, even if it's a physical motion, right? If you're learning to play golf, you go out and you swing the club, and then you do it again, and you do it again. You go to the driving range and practice. You hit ball after ball after ball after ball. It's about creating a physical motion and muscle memory in the physical cellular structure, because anything that you do with repetition becomes a habit and graduates into rhythm, and nature will make it permanent. Okay, so here, this is where the money is, you guys. Napoleon Hill had this concept he called drifting. And before I even explain drifting, I want to say this sentence, and I'm really grateful I made these slides, because I could be all over the place right now. So I'm glad that we have the slides to keep me reined in. But Napoleon Hill was very big in this idea, and this is all through Think and Grow Rich, The Law of Success in 16 Lessons. I'm coming out of Outwitting the Devil, but the idea here is you have to, absolutely have to have definiteness of what you want. You have to have purpose. You have to define something. You have to have a goal. You have to have the carrot dangling out there in front of you. Because if you're not like working towards something that's going to bring you pleasure and achievement, then you're running from something that will bring you pain and fear. And you're motivated for the wrong reasons, which will bring out all of the worst qualities in you. So the first step, period, is you getting a crystal clear vision of what you want, or as he put it, define your dream and get a burning desire for its achievement. Those are his words. So knowing that your goal is to define your dream, to get definiteness of your purpose. What is your dream? What is your purpose? And be real definite about it. Like intention, just like I know it. You don't have to think about it. People don't ask you, well, what's your dream? What's your chief aim? You don't go, well, I think I want to like impact the world by teaching and changing evolutionary consciousness to expand it to, no, it doesn't work. You just got to know it. Boom. You have to know it. What's your name? Ted. What's your street number? 3008. What's your phone number? 479-116, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Nobody asks you what's your name, and you're like, Bob. No, wait, Fred. No, Ted. No, damn it. Oh, what's my name? So you know it. And if you're ever going to achieve the things that you want in your life, Napoleon was teaching us, you got to know what you want, and you have to be obsessed with it. You got to think about it and talk about it and dream about it. And everything has to be on the tip of your tongue and on the top of your mind, because that is what you will focus your thought forms around. And that's what you will, through repetitious reinforcement, create habits of. You will create thought form habits that solidify and crystallize in the field into hypnotic rhythm that is in support of what you want. So drifting is when you don't know what you want. Drifting is when you kind of think that you know. Drifting is when you're all over the place and you're not definite. Drifting is the worst habit of all. It is a person that doesn't have purpose. And it forces you to place your thoughts outside of your own control. You give your power over. You give it to the news channels. You give it to the neighbors. You give it to the people, the advertisers and the marketers. You give it away because you aren't taking control and owning and taking responsibility of it. You don't have definiteness. You have not defined what you want. And you can't say it with the snap of a finger. Okay? And I'm not saying you guys are that way. I'm saying that the drifter is that way. Because when you begin to drift, nature will make it permanent. And it's just every day, it's a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder for you to break free from that. And I mean, you're in control of this stuff. It's like, if you've ever been to a hypnotist, you can't be hypnotized to do things you don't want to do. It's just suggestions that are made. And I'm telling you that you are in charge of this. This is what drifters say. And drifter is an excuse monger. It's a victim. It's a whiner. It's a crier. It's a woe is me. Everything is out there. I just can't do it. They sound the cry, and that they use all of the same BS to justify the way they believe and to aggressively try to get everyone else to think the way that they do, because it's like if other people are doing it too, then it's okay. It's the same reason why a bunch of people that are alcoholics, they all hang out together, because nobody in there is going to be like, hey, you really should quit drinking so much. Because the other person is drinking too and they all want to drink, or fill in the blank, whatever it is. If it's a bunch of people that are addicted to running and they have a running club and it's affecting their life in a negative way because it's impacting their knees and their physical body, or maybe time with their family, or whatever, I don't know. If you attract and harmonize with energetic signals in the field that match what you're putting out. And so they're never going to challenge you. In fact, what they're going to do is go and try and convince everyone else that they're right and try to get them to be the way that they are. That's what I'm saying here. So if you want to know what makes you drift, it's fear. It is. And fear of death is the biggest one. Which is funny because we're all going to die. I mean, it's not like some horrible, ominous thing I'm saying. It's like, it's going to happen. So why don't I start living my life in a way that I'm honoring the fact that I am going to die? Like if I took the funeral test, and I thought, at my funeral, what are people going to say? Are they going to miss me? Are they going to be sad? Is there going to be a moment? Did I leave an impact? Did I make a difference? Did I live my purpose? Or are people going to be like, I'm glad that dude's gone, right? Because there's plenty of people in the world that fit that bill that we could probably do without. But I put criticism here also. Fear of death is the biggest one, and it really is because it's unknown. Nobody knows. This is why the power of like structured, organized religion has such a hold on people, because it's from the time that they were young, implanting ideas and beliefs in them about what happens when they die. And I'm not saying that the teachings of the church are bad or wrong, but I do have a problem with this sort of egocentric and maniacal stance that I know what's going to happen when we die, because you don't. You don't know. And the sooner that you can drop a belief that's not serving you, then you take one step closer to being awakened to the truth that really lies in front of you, instead of some idea of what you want it to be. So I won't go down that rabbit trail. But I'm telling you, face your fear. And this is something I think Susie said it a second ago. When you're running away from, when you're motivated by getting away from pain or fear, instead of being motivated by moving towards pleasure. Like a teacher of mine drew a picture of a donkey, and the donkey had a carrot dangling out in front of his face. And behind him was a broom that was going to swat him in the rear end. And the point was that the donkey is going to move forward, just like you are going to move forward in your life. But is it going to be out of motivation for that carrot? Or is it going to be out of a fear of getting swatted? And I really want you guys now, we're kind of wind up here, but I want you to just really listen to me, okay? And get introspective here. Be honest with yourself and ask yourself some questions. I want you to think about the stuff that you're afraid of. You know, a lot of people, it's fear of success, because they won't know what to do and they'll play out all of their self-sabotage. They get a little bit of a taste of it, and then they screw the whole thing up. You know, I don't want to say on purpose, but that's the program that's in the field. It's like I was in a relationship and I got heartbroken. So now the program in the field is like, whoa, we don't want to do relationships anymore, because remember what happened when we did that before? Man, it sucked. We're not doing that again. And even though you might have a little bit of success, you fear that. You fear being vulnerable and opening yourself back up to it, because if you just don't open, then at least you can't get hurt again. And you will find a way to sabotage that unless you learned the lesson that was there for you, unless you process that in a way that serves you, unless you can think about that breakup that, you know, would destroy someone else and actually feel good and be happy and thankful that it took place for you in your life because of all the incredible lessons that you learned, the experiences that you would have never had, and the new direction that it put you on in life. And you think about it and you're happy and you're thankful. You have to face those things. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. This is why I wrote Blair Witch story on the screen here. There was a movie here in the United States, and it was years ago. It was like one of the very first reality kind of movies. It was called The Blair Witch Story, and it was like 3 college kids that heard about a legend of a witch in the woods in Massachusetts. So they took their cameras and they went out in the woods to try to find the witch. The whole movie is just the video footage of their cameras. So it's real like home video style is what it looks like. And it turns out the story was not real, but they marketed it as if it was a real story. And this was the footage that they found from these people. So at the time I saw the movie, I thought it was real. Okay. So I'm in the theater and I'm watching this movie, and all of a sudden at the end, the witch gets them or some, it's a scary movie, and they all disappear, and the camera just falls on the ground, and then that's the end of the movie, and you never know what happens to them. They disappear forever. So I'm terrified. I'm like, oh my God, there's a witch, and it got these people, and it's gonna get me. And there were nights, for months after that, that I would be home alone, and I lived in a barn. At my dad's house, he turned an old barn into a house, and it was a really cool house, but it was a mile down a dirt road in the country in the middle of nowhere, and it was. I would freak myself out. I would get scared. It was only at night. When it got dark, I got scared. It was fear. It was feeding me, and I was thinking about it all the time, and it was being reinforced, and it just happened again and again. And this is what I did. I decided one day, I had a friend take me home. We'd been hanging out, and he brought me home. It was like midnight, and he's pulling into the mile-long dirt road that goes to the house, and I said, "Stop the car. Let me out here." And he said, "What? Let you out here?" I said, "Uh-huh, I'm going to walk down the road." And he said, "Well, weren't you just telling me how terrified you are of all this, being in the dark and being alone?" And I said, "You bet your butt I'm terrified. I am scared, senseless. But you know what? I'm tired of living my life this way. It is not matching what it is I want to do. It is growing, and it's eating me, and I hate it, and I'm going to end it right now. And one of two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to walk down the road, and the witch is going to jump out from behind a tree and get me, and I'm going to die, and then good, because this will all be over, and I don't have to worry about this anymore. Or there's no witch at all, and I'm going to be fine, and I'm going to walk down the road, and everything's going to be cool." So I walked down the road, and everything was cool, and I had tears in my eyes. I never felt more alive. I was never more present than that night I walked down that road. But I tell you what, man, it taught me something important. And it was that whatever you're afraid of is usually just in your mind. That the biggest thing that you can overcome is the BS that you tell yourself and reinforce inside of your head. So face that stuff and be honest with yourself. What are you afraid of, and what are you reinforcing? Because it takes courage to do that. And if you want to define what your dream is, and you want to reinforce that and get definite about it and declare it, and you want to live that way and create that way, create a life that is based on that intention and that purpose and every action that you do, so that when you're there at the checkout buggy and you're like, "Hey, I could not ring up that $5 thing," but you go, "No, because that's not in alignment with my purpose. And I'm definite about where I want to go, and that decision will not take me in that direction, so I will not do it. I don't even have to think about it. I don't even have to think. I don't have to think." And I really believe this. There will be a day that someone will come along and walk the earth. And this kind of reminds me of all stories about Jesus. And this person will help people realize that if they just quit freaking out and spending all of their money over here at the fear store, and they reverse that, and they come over here to the enthusiastic, positive, enlightened, happy love store and hang out there, it would deliver them anything that they ever wanted. And it's true, and you know it's true. You know that it's true. And it'll happen. And it'll be because that person gets to the children. It'll take one generation of children thinking that way and growing up that will transform the world. Now, I say children because they're open, they're impressionable, and they have longer to be around to make influence. But really, it's because the adults, they're so far entrenched in hypnotic rhythm that it's going to take something really, really big to break it. It's going to take something huge. And I don't think it'll happen. I think they're too far gone. Now, I don't think everyone is. And I don't think you are. because you wouldn't be here right now. Seriously. I'm not trying to like placate or blow hot air at you. I really believe that if you were not here, or how should I say it? The fact that you're here shows me that you are chipping away at that gunk in the field. Like you have an intention and a purpose. It's the weekend. You could be doing something else, anything else, but here you are hanging out. And that's a testament to your definiteness of purpose. You are the one in control. So you're either going to do one of two things. You're in control of these two things, okay? The first one, you have control over. You're either going to be awesome. You're going to be relentless. You're going to pursue your definiteness. You know what it is. And that your success, even when you get it, you're never going to rest on your laurels. You're never going to say, okay, I've achieved success. Now I can finish. All right, I hit the finish line. Let's go to the beach now and just buy a house and drink Mai Tais along the surf. That is an illusion. And that crap has been put there and programmed into us to get us to drift. See, Mark Cuban, I wrote two examples here. Mark Cuban and A Growing Flower. The first one is Cuban. He said, I don't ever rest. Because even though I'm smart and I'm a billionaire, if you don't know who Mark Cuban is, look him up. He's awesome. He said, even though I'm a billionaire, I'm not resting because I know there's some 17-year-old kid out there just waiting to kick my ass. He's staying up late and he's getting up early and he's working all day and he's full of hustle, hustle, hustle. And I don't want to let him beat me. He's very competitive and very driven. And business for him is a sport and he wants to win. So he knows that his success is temporary because the second that he stops doing the things that brought him success, as soon as he is feeling like he's done and he's no longer is obsessed with his definiteness of purpose, then here comes hypnotic rhythm creeping back in. It's always waiting there. It's always there. It's an immutable, constant law, like gravity. It's always going to be there. And so you have to proactively be focused and determined and motivated in pursuing your dream. You have to define your dream and get a burning desire for its achievement. You have to be fired up about it. You got to want it. You got to be motivated for it. And just like a growing flower, or I shouldn't even say growing flower, like a flower, it's either growing or dying. It's either moving towards growth or it's moving towards death. There's no cruise control for a flower. It doesn't say, okay, I'm a flower now, I'm going to just, phone it in. It's growing or it's dying, and so are you. You are that flower. You have to know that your growth or your success isn't always guaranteed. And as soon as you stop doing the things that bring it to you, well, you drift. You drift. And if you don't have a defined purpose, then everyone else around you is going to steer your bus. If you don't grab the wheel and steer it yourself, you better believe someone else is going to steer it for you. And I promise you, you won't like the results. Usually, they will steer it to a consumer-driven type of activity so that they can evacuate your wallet. Remember, you are what you are where you are, and your life is where it's at right now because of your thoughts. It's because of the thought forms that you reinforce and cement into the field and create permanent hypnotic rhythm with that you attract more of the same. You reap what you sow. What goes around comes around. You attract what you put out there. And I threw this nugget in here about luck. Luck is just some man-made hypothesis that we use to explain things that we do not understand. So excuse my spelling there. If we don't understand it, we call it luck. And it's usually because it's a cause and effect, but the effect is so far removed from the cause, we can't make the connection. So we go, wow, it's magic. It's luck. No, no, it's not luck. I watched an interview of an actress on Saturday Night Live. Kristen K is her last name. Anyway, they were asking her about how she made it on Saturday Night Live, and she said, yeah, it was easy. I went in and I did the interview, and within a few days, it all just happened. I mean, I did spend 10 years in New York being totally broke and hustling and working at every comedy club I could at every chance I ever got. But that wasn't, that wasn't important. I made my big break in 3 days. See, this is what the media, this is what the world will tell you. This is what marketing will shove in your face. They just show you the end result. They don't show you Bill Gates in his cubicle. He said he never took a day off from age 20 to 30 for 10 freaking years. He didn't take one day off. He just worked his ass off because of his definiteness of purpose. And look what it's done for him. You get it? You understand that it's not about the flashy finish line that you get to see with people. It's about the hustle and the grind. It's about the repetition and the reinforcement. It's about the certainty that they have and the definiteness. It's about the intention and the thoughts and the power of the mind. It's about how they use that to impact and reinforce what's in the field. If you are afraid of something, then you're going to attract it. If you're afraid of poverty, then that's what dominates your thoughts all the time, then you're going to have a bunch of poverty. It's a disease of the mind. If you think the other way, though, and you like demand awesomeness, right? And that's what you form your thoughts around and create habits around, and your thinking around, and your talking around, and your actions and your decision making. If you show up to your life in a version of yourself that is like got that much support behind it, you're going to be awesome. You'll get everything you ever want, and nature will make sure of it. It will make it permanent. Okay, so this is the part where we talk about breaking the rhythm, breaking the hypnotic rhythm, because Napoleon Hill keeps saying it's permanent, it's permanent. You can never break it. Once it goes from habit to rhythm, you're screwed. But I don't believe that. I do think, however, though, let's say the amount of cement that is used to cement those rhythms into place is proportional to the amount of like jackhammers it's going to take to break up all that cement. You dig? So this is where things happen in our life that we call calamity and tragedy. This is when things go so wrong. This is when it all breaks and falls apart. This is when we find ourselves on our knees asking, why? Why me? Why this? I'm positive. I'm loving. I understand. I do the right things. Why? Why do I have to struggle so hard? Okay? You first have to understand this law of hypnotic rhythm. And then you just have to use it to your advantage. You have to orient yourself correctly to it. So someone that is a drifter, they hate this law. They hate it. They're always trying to figure out a way to like stop it, or how can I work around it, or how can I bypass it, because it makes their life permanently miserable. But on the flip side of it, someone that understands this and orients themselves to it in a proper way, this one that has definiteness, they love this law because it will reinforce and cement into place all of the goods, all of the goody gumdrops that they desire, and the feelings of fulfillment and happiness, the passion and the joy and the freedom. It's all right there. Just make sure that you are understanding and orienting yourself properly. So I said the way we break it is often when there's a calamity, a problem, horrible problem. It's disguised, I should say, as a horrible problem. So sometimes people, like in the late 2000s, when all of the real estate market crashed in the United States, and there was a huge financial crisis, and all these people lost all their money, and not nearly comparable to the Great Depression of the 1920s in the United States. But I'll tell you what those financial crises did was it broke the financial habits. There was a group mind, a mastermind that was created, a group consciousness, and it was reinforced to all these people. It was like mind control or something. I don't mean to be sinister. I mean, I'm not into conspiracy theories or anything, but it was a group consciousness that was broken. It took a huge thing like this calamity in the financial world to redistribute these opportunities to people so that it wasn't just a few people that had all of them. Here they go back out for everyone. And I mean, The Big Short is the movie that's out in theaters right now. And it's all about this housing crash and the people that were paying attention and people that saw it happen. They made a lot of money because they understood what was happening. And, I'm not necessarily condoning or, saying that that was good. I'm just making a point that in this group consciousness, it took something huge to break the rhythm. It took this crisis and this crash to break up the rhythm so that it could be redistributed and reassembled in a new way. So the next example is disease, same idea. Mental and physical stuff in the field reinforces in the physical body. And so the physical body has to create some horrible problem to get their attention. We talked about this earlier. The idea of you having cancer or something and being excited and loving it is because you understand your body is perfect. And the body is just trying to get you to break your habits and rhythms that created this mess to begin with. That's all the disease is. It's a biofeedback. It's just a mirror. It's just a mechanism for you to see that you have to break up the way you're doing something or else you gonna die. It's gonna take you out. So don't be this person. Don't be this drifter. Make sure you have purpose and you have defined what you want. You have definiteness of purpose. You have defined your chief aim and you are obsessed with it. Don't run around and cry that the world has run dry of opportunities. Be a leader. Okay? Can you think of someone? Now, just let me take it down a notch because there's only 1 or 2 slides left and we're going to wrap up. But I want you to think right now. I want you to think of somebody that's like this, somebody that's the drifter, that they try to explain away all their problems by saying that there's no more opportunities, everything's run dry. It's not my fault. It's the bank, it's the government, it's the system, it's the money. It's not me, it's the POA, it's the teachers. Think of someone you know like this. Are you this way? Surely you are not this way, but you probably know somebody who is. So I do want you to honor the fact that there are areas of your own life that you are this way. Now, maybe for the most part, you're not, but there's always room for growth and improvement. So be honest with yourself. I'm not going to make you write it down. Are you making excuses for stuff? Are you? Are you being a victim? Are you crying? And there's just not enough. They just won't talk to me. I just can't get through to them. I've tried my best. There's nothing else I can do. Where in your life are you playing that song? Because leaders don't do that. They don't wait for opportunity. They don't sit around and expect it to be thrown to them and placed in their lap because they go out and create it. You're a creator, okay? These people create opportunity to fit their demands. They create opportunity to match harmonically with the desires that they build thought forms around and reinforce, crystallize in the field to attract. They make it happen. They are creators, and so are you. You are a creator. You know it. You feel it. You're buzzing. Your hair is standing up. You're awesome. You need to have those thoughts in your head all the time. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I make things happen. I can do it. I deserve it. I deserve success. All of those things there, They're there for me. It's there for the taking or for the earning. It's all here to serve an experience for me and something higher. I'm awesome. I can do it. Great. I'm great. See, I do this stuff all the time. I did it before we started our webinar today. I looked at myself and I'm like, Ted, you are awesome. Even though you're kind of nervous, you're always nervous. It's because you just want to do a good job. And I'm sure that if you can just stay open and stay connected, then the right words will come at the right time for you to say to the right person, and you will impact somebody's life. And even if just one of these people get one thing, you will be totally worth it. So ask yourself these questions. What are you creating? Are you creating opportunities that are going to move you towards your goal? What are the thought forms that you're reinforcing into habit and rhythm? Are they empowering? Do they sound like that? I'm awesome. I'm great. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I can do it. Anything I put my mind to, I'm great. I deserve it. Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just challenging you. Those are the end of my slides here, you guys. So let me jump out of the screen and we'll wrap it up. Get out of the field of death there. Okay, I'm back. I couldn't see any of these comments. Hey, Kelly, glad to see you on here. Definitely don't want that Kool-Aid. Oh, what is that, a Jonestown reference? Love it. Drink the Kool-Aid. All right. Are you guys feeling it? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling the love? Because it just takes a few important people in your life to really love you and at the same time poke you in the butt with a red hot poker. I'm telling you, and I'll tell you again. All right. No hands raised. See, in the other webinars, I don't even tell people to raise their hand, and like 3 or 4 people always do. But it's totally cool. I'm amazed that right now all of you guys have stayed through the whole thing. Like that's unheard of in the world of doing webinars and the stats and analytics of it all. I'm blown away, and I'm excited, not only because you guys were here and you liked it and it was valuable for you and engaging, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is the beginning of a foundation that I've made a commitment to myself to build a foundation over the next 3 months. And I'm going to do this stuff every single weekend. Okay. And I want you guys to be here and I want you to be part of it. I want you to engage, even if it's just in the chat room or sending me some emails, outside of the webinar. I want to talk to you guys. I want to build that community and tribe. So, just tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're going through and what you're doing. And, maybe it'd be awesome if one of you guys wanted to come on and talk for a while, I'll pass the baton to you. Not to just anyone, just to you guys that show up, that you have a nickel in the game, that you have demonstrated to the universe that you're ready to show up and play, that you're serious about it. And so that's kind of like the litmus test, I think. And I really appreciate the nice comments. And it is fun. It's riveting, isn't it? So I have skimmed the surface on several of these topics tonight. So when you hear the repetition in them, good, because it's coming at it from all these different angles and it's reinforcing to you again and again the power of your mind. The thoughts that you choose to create and generate and emit are so very, very, very important. Okay, so think about what you're thinking about when you think about it, right? We will all get together. We will do it again next Saturday. I might have a special guest in the middle of the week. But if I can't make him do it, then we will get together next Saturday for sure. So I want you guys to count on these Saturdays, same time each week, and we're going to get together and do this stuff. Make sure that you guys get the meditation that I put up here in the offer box. Remember, if you click the link, and you can just go right click the play bar on the meditation and download it directly, or just send me an email. And if you guys were here on the webinar, I'll be sure to just email to you. So it's a special gift for you guys for being here, for playing. Okay. If you're watching the replay, sorry, you guys, it's a special gift for the ones that are here. It's a little incentive, and I'm sure you don't really mind that much because this class was pretty kick-ass, wasn't it? All right, so I'm going to go and do life, all right? So with all of the love in the world, don't worry, Susie, I'll put it on a replay for you. I'm going to put all of them on a replay. You can watch this one again. It'll be up in give me a couple hours to do it. It'll be up. But I just want to thank you, like, from a place in me that is not separate from you, that is one with you, that is love, right? I love you guys. I will get some rest. I promise you that. And I will see you then, or see you on another time.